And we are live. How is everyone doing today? Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to take a little bit of time to get our information going on here so we can know why we're in this virtual space today. So thank you all so much for joining us for our spring session of Instagram Lives for student services here at the University of Nevada, Reno. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I'm Sheena Harvey. I'm currently serving as the Associate Director for Fitness and Recreational Sports here at the institution. So thank you all so much for joining us today. We're hoping that you will stay on for the whole time. We have some great speakers and guests with us today. We're hoping that if you have a chance, share this and invite somebody else to come into the virtual space so we can learn about what's going on at our institution. So I'm going to take some time and get us labeled up here with our title for today. And we are also hoping that we can get as many people in so we can get the good news out to the campus community. All right, so while I'm typing the title here, I'm going to pin that to comments. So, and also too, make sure you're putting comments. We have some amazing team members from the institution that are going to be helping us answer questions that are in the chat. So just make sure that you throw those questions in the comments area, and then we'll have some individuals answer, and then we'll do our best to pull and answer as many comments and questions that we may have today about our topic. So really quick, today our Instagram Live is focused on university academic recovery and then commencement. So those are the things we're going to be talking about today with our amazing hosts. So let's get that title pinned on for you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the space. So happy to have you here with us. Thank you so much. All right. So remember, today we're talking about university academic recovery and commencement. All right. Can post that. Can I pin that? Pin comment. All righty. So if you're just getting here, so great. Thank you so much, you all, for joining us today. Again, I'm Sheena Harvey. I'm the Associate Director for Fitness and Recreational Sports here at the university. And we have some amazing speakers with us today. They're going to be joining us in a little bit here. Just waiting for some more folks to come into the space. So remember today, it's pinned in the comments. We're going to be talking about university academic recovery and then also to commencement. So I'm also going to link the live chat captions for you as well. All right. All right. I'm trying to pin that for us here. Okay. There we go. All right. So we have our title pinned to the comments and also to the link for live chats, for live captions. All righty. So we're going to get our first guest coming towards us this way. Our first guest will be Katie McKinney. She's going to be coming from the area of admissions as well. And then she's our student systems specialist. So we're going to wait for her to come in and get going in this conversation. Thank you all so much for being here. Make sure you share this with somebody else so they can gain the information they need about academic recovery and also to our upcoming commencement that's going to be going on. All righty. Make sure you're putting your comments, questions, concerns in the chat. Hello there. Hi, Katie. How are you doing?
Hi, Sheena. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. You look great as always. So
Gotcha.
we have, it's a lot. 2021 has given us just this start, right? I'm so glad the sun's out today. Any day we can get sun, I'm super excited about it. But I know our campus community has a ton of questions about, some things going on and with, student support services and such like that. So we have some questions here for you today, and hopefully we can get those answered. Then, of course, I'll let the folks know that they can put those questions in the comments too if we're not getting to something they want to get to. So I'll get us started so we can get you going here. So Got some questions for you. So Enrollment Services is offering services in a variety of ways, which I think the students have been super appreciative of. I'm pretty sure you all get, comments back and such like that. Can you talk a little bit about these services that are both in person and remote?
Yeah, so thanks so much for the introduction and for the question, Sheena. Just a little bit of history about myself quickly, just so you know kind of my background, where I'm coming from and answering these questions. My name is Caitlin McKinney. I work currently in the Office of Admissions and Records, and I've worked for the university for about 10 years now. And I am born and raised here in Reno, Nevada, and also an alumni of the university. So everything university, all my family here is very near and dear to my heart. So also very near and dear to my heart is making sure that, kind of like you said, what a crazy year, 2 years now almost, and making sure that we're really providing those services to students as they need it. So right now, the Office of Admissions and Records and all the other offices within the Fitzgerald Student Services building are open for in-person services. So I kind of wanted to go ground up just for my brain to make sure I remembered everyone in our building. So in the Fitzgerald building, on the first floor, we have Officer Perspective students and Office of International students. Okay. On the second floor, you have Admissions and Records and Veteran Services. And then on the third floor, you have Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships and the Office of Cashiers. I also forgot the graduate school on the second floor. I knew I was going to do that. So our offises are open for in-person services. And the only thing that we ask of students if they are coming in person to receive those services is that they use our QList system. So for all of you guys that have tuned into these Instagram Lives in the past, you may know a little bit about what QList is, but to just give you a refresher today, for the offices of Admissions and Records, Financial Aid, Cashiers, and Veteran Services, we ask that you use QList before you plan on coming in person to use our services, just so we can make sure that we know who you are before you're coming in, and then that way we can make sure that we're monitoring our line management. So you'll see, I'm sure you've seen it, Sheena, being on campus, we have these handy dandy like check-in required signs.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
In front of our building. And so that just is a great reminder for students of all the ways that they can join the QList services before they actually come in. So you can text, you can use the website, you can use the app, and it just is really easy for students to join. And also one nice thing is you can join from anywhere, right? So if you are, let's say you're just finishing up at the fitness center, you just got your workout on, you want to stop by Admissions and Records, and you want to know how long the wait time is. Right. So by using QList, you can join the line, and it'll tell you like, hey, Sheena, thanks for joining. Your estimated wait time is 15 minutes. So you know, like, okay, I don't need to rush, maybe do a little extra shower, make sure I don't stink before I leave, and then I can go get Admissions and Records help. Yes. And then the other nice thing is that we can actually transfer you within lines, right? So let's say you came to Admissions and Records first. We helped you enroll in a class, and then you maybe had some questions for financial aid. Right. We can transfer you lines. So you don't have to like leave and then re-add. We make it really easy. We can put a little note and let financial aid know why you're coming. Right. So that's a quick rundown on our in-person services. We also offer a really cool virtual front counter. So I'm sure everyone is sick of hearing this word, but it's pivoting, right? So we had to pivot. We had to figure out how can we help students who are remote or who maybe aren't feeling well and can't come to campus to receive our services. And this virtual front counter was a really cool way for us to also use QList to provide students the option to kind of like you and I are doing today and talk face to face and see another human. Right. So the offices that use QList are the for the virtual front counter are going to be Admissions and Records, Financial Aid, and the Cashier's office. So did I freeze there for a second?
Yeah, it was a little glitch, but
I hope I had a good face on it.
Yeah, you're good. You're still perfect, so you're good.
Okay. So Admissions and Records and the Cashier's office do require that students make appointments ahead of time, and then we email you a Zoom link as your appointment time nears. But the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships, you can just join that queue anytime during business hours, and you'll be assisted by one of the financial aid virtual front counter employees.
Okay. So, awesome. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. The last thing as far as services goes is email, right? So I know
Okay.
sometimes like you're not able to catch our office within normal business hours. You can also send us an email. So the
Okay.
offices of admissions and records, cashiers, and financial aid all have designated email addresses.
Hmm.
And those email addresses are all on the websites. And so if you send
Nice.
us an email, it's going to create a ticket in our ticketing system. And
Okay.
what that allows for you to have is you get an automated response back with a ticket number that
Okay.
will then allow you to know that we received your email.
Awesome.
So I know sometimes it's hard when they're like, yeah, send us an email. And you're like, well, how do I know if you got it?
Right.
And so that's a great way for our students and our families and just to know that we received your request. And then any responses will come directly back to your email. So that's how you know that we received it. And that's just a great way. Like, let's say I know a lot of people work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So it's hard to call. It's hard to use that virtual front counter. The email is a great alternative.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. And honestly, it really sounds like it's the one-stop shop for everything you need, essentially, right? Of students trying to answer the questions before they have them. So I know I'm appreciative. I'm actually a graduate student right now too. So just having just access to these services have been just tremendous, and knowing the wait time, right? And knowing that there's not going to be a lot of people there. Of course, with the pandemic and COVID-19, we want to make sure we're socially distancing and showing up to get the services that we need. So thank you so much, Haven, for explaining that and really making it clear so that this resource that students have. So we're going to transition into the conversation kind of about enrollment policies. So universities has extended the COVID-19 SU option for grades. Instead of getting a letter grade, students have that option to get satisfactory or unsatisfactory in the class. So with that being said, knowing that this will remain in effect for the spring semester. So can you give us a little bit more information about the SU policy for students?
Yeah, so the COVID-19 change to SU request was created in spring of 2020 when we went remote, and all terms after spring of 2020 have been eligible. So essentially what it allows students to do is the instructor will still post a letter grade at the end of the semester, but students can then request for that letter grade to be changed to SU. So with the change to SU, we have a grading scale for kind of what decides if you get an S or a U, and those are decided at the undergraduate and a graduate class level. But it's a really great way for students to remove those classes from the GPA implication, right? So if you change your grade to an S or a U, it has a neutral impact on your GPA. Those classes do. So we strongly suggest that if you are a student and you're planning on maybe taking a look at changing to SU, that you check in with some people first. So we really suggest that you talk to your academic advisor. We suggest that you check in with financial aid, and we suggest that if you're a student athlete, you always check in with your athletic advisor. And the reason for that is because there could be some like financial aid and scholarship implications of changing, let's say, all of your classes to SU, right? Because if you change all of your classes to SU, there's no classes left for your GPA to calculate by. And so we have a really great policy website. So you can go to like unr.edu and just do COVID-19 SU, and it will take you to the admissions and records policy site where we have all of the policy information. We have a ton of FAQs. We have a ton of scenarios, like those scholarship scenarios that I was talking about. And we also have lots of deadlines. So basically, we do have the ability for students now to request to change to SU using My Nevada for a short period of time at the end of the semester. So for all my students who have winter semester classes right now that they're thinking of changing to SU, you can actually do that within My Nevada. For students who are wanting to change past terms, you can do that using the form on the admissions and records website. So as we get closer to the end of this spring 2021 term, instructors will post final grades, and then once those grades are there, you can request a change to SU within My Nevada.
So awesome. So if you're just joining us, our topic today, we're talking about university academic recovery, and a little bit later on, we're talking about commencement. So with that being said, Kaylin's been giving us some great information just about, how do you gain access to our services and resources that help with the tie directly to admissions and such. Then also too, just now she talked about, the use of mind of that and really looking into that and seeing what's going on with your student account. But then also too, the admission and records website has a lot of great resources and of course access to those forms that you need. So Caitlin's still kind of in that same area. There have been some recent changes to the grade replacement policy that gives students the opportunity to strengthen their academic record. Can you go over those changes a little bit more, and then how grade replacement can help those students?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be able to talk about this. This is a really great expansion of a policy that the university already had in place. And so in December of 2020, the policy was extended to allow for more opportunities. I guess for replacement. So I'll talk about actually how we extended it. So it was extended from allowing 15 to 30 credits of replacement. It was extended from originally only allowing for 100 and 200 level classes to 100 to 400 level classes of replacement. Okay. And then they removed the need for, or I guess the regulation on the time frame. So you used to have to retake the class within 2 regular semesters, and that's no longer the case.
Okay.
So it really provides students just more of an opportunity to strengthen their GPA, to retake those classes that they may have struggled with, that they're just looking to get a better grade in. And so essentially what the grade replacement policy allows for students to do is it allows for students to retake a class, and then using the replacement policy, the first time that you took the class, that grade is no longer included in your GPA calculation.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So it's, we've all struggled with those math and English and biology, those classes are really hard. And so, this really provides students more of an opportunity to expand the number of classes they can retake. And also there's no limit on how many times you can retake a specific class. So for me, I had to retake math. It just was not my strong suit. And so if you have to retake it, 2 or 3 times, you can use this policy to ensure that you only have one of those times impacting your GPA. That's
so awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylin. We appreciate that. So we have one last area that we want to pick your brain about and get all the good information, all the good stuff. So let's transition to reminders about advisors and registration. Okay, so advisors are one of the best resources available to students. I remember my advisor got tired of me in undergraduate and graduate school. She was like, Sheena, you already have the answer. So, but we know our advisors, they keep us on track. They want to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And then it's not, it goes outside of just that meeting with them to know what classes you're taking. Advisors, they play this tremendous role. So when it comes to these enrollment policies that you just discussed, can we talk about the importance of meeting with your advisor to help guide you in these decisions regarding your academics?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in working here is that students think that we're the experts in the catalog and degree requirements, and we're not. We use advisors too. So we're always asking advisors hey, can you take a look at this student's requirements for me? So I just really think that it's, advisors truly are the experts. They can help you from the beginning to the end of your career here at the university. They're not meant to just help you that first semester that you're starting off. Right. I strongly suggest that students make an appointment with their advisor every semester. Yeah. Every semester you should be bugging them like you were and saying hey, I just want to make sure, are these classes right? Am I on track? Am I doing the right thing? And also, I think it's important to know you should be checking in with them, not just when you have a hold on your account, right? So do the things that you need to when it's not an immediate issue. So then you kind of make sure that you're not running into those registration holds and things of that nature. Right. And when we're talking about registration holds, I cannot believe it, but we're already gearing up for our next semester registration cycle. It's crazy.
Yes.
So registration for summer will begin in March, and then registration for fall will be in April. So now is just a great time to be taking a look at your to-do list, taking a look at your holds. As we get closer to graduation, or not graduation, sorry, I have graduation on the brain. As we get closer to registration, I strongly recommend that you take a look at that weekly, because we'll send out an enrollment appointment email to all students that will have your day and time that you can register for classes. But something may come up between when you get that email and when you actually can register. We see it happen quite often. So you may have had an immunization that has expired, or we're looking for a final report for a college transcript or a high school transcript. So keep an eye on your record keep an eye on your email, I guess, for that enrollment appointment email. We send those out to all students, and just kind of like you said, lean on your advisors. They're there to help. They are the experts. They know all the things. They're experts in the grade replacement policy. They're expert in the SU policy. They know how to get you and stay on track for graduation.
They do. So I apologize to my advisors if they're on here. Meant no harm. So if you're just joining us, Caitlin's just giving us all the good stuff. So remember that, check your emails. It's very important to make sure you're checking those emails, reading those emails to see what details, especially for registration. You don't want to get caught waiting to the last minute and not getting into your class or having to be on a wait list. So just making sure that you're paying attention to those things. So Caitlin, we got about one more question for you, and then you will be free to go. So in that same area of, talking about our advisors and registration is already coming up for summer and fall, as you mentioned. Can you touch on summer school and fall registration and what they'll look like? So kind of going a little bit more in-depthly about that.
Yeah, so summer session is a really great way for students to play catch up, or to kind of like focus on maybe those classes that would have been difficult to manage while you're taking a full-time load, right? So I took summer session when I was an incoming freshman. I took my math and my English just to be able to focus on those and not have to manage my math and English while I was taking all my other classes.
Right.
So summer registration and summer instruction modes will be pretty similar to the way that we have instruction modes right now. And so students can take a look. Right now, the summer session website I know has like a tentative schedule of classes outlined on their website. So if you're thinking like maybe you're struggling with the class right now for spring, you could already take a look and see what's out there for summer. And then as far as the fall semester goes, I believe we have the traditional instruction modes out. So we will release the schedule here fairly soon. We have like our incoming students. We've been working on getting them a schedule through our advanced registration. So we're welcoming our new class. So if I have any of our new class out there listening, we're so excited to be welcoming you for fall. So I would just say as a student, we know everything is changing all the time, but we're really working on communicating, making sure that students get all of that information as quickly as we have it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And like I said, again, Caitlin, really appreciate you answering those questions for us in terms of thinking about, our enrollment policies. And what I think the work that has been done is just, it's so accommodating, right? It gives a chance for students to kind of have some stress kind of pulled off of like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that. It's kind of set up in a way, in a structure to where it's still allowing students to succeed and to go through. And even though we're just in this time where things are just different, we have to be accommodating in the sense of that. So I thank you so much for the work you do. And those of you who are in the comments, be sure to reach out to Caitlin, who is serving as our, sorry, I'm going to scratch the title, Student Services Systems Specialist. You may get an email from me as well, so don't ignore my email. Okay. But no, and any lasting words or words of encouragement for the ones watching, or anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, no, I think that we're all in this together. I think that, like I said in the beginning, all of this is so near and dear to my heart, and I know all of the employees on campus feel the same way. So I think that hopefully there's a light at the end of this tunnel, and we're working really hard to just make this experience as best as we can for everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope that everyone that was on today have either sharing it with other people. We're getting more views. And just want to thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina. See you soon, I'm sure.
See ya. Alrighty, folks. So thank you so much again for tuning in for that first portion of, academic recovery and just learning more about the policies in terms of, what you can do as a student and how you can still progress through. And if you need to do the SU policy, learning what that's about, but then also being careful based on your status at the institution and just knowing what you can do for your academics. Next up, we have an individual from Admission and Records as well, too. She is our lead in the area of commencement. So we'll have Soraya Tillotson. She's our graduation coordinator. So we'll get her in the space very shortly, and we will get going on that. So just make sure that you are putting your comments in the comment area, your feedback. We have an amazing team on the backside, just making sure that we're trying to get all those questions answered for you. And yes, and again, we thank you all so much for being here with us. So. All right, our next guest will be coming up soon. Go. All righty, I think she's coming in right now. Hello, Soraya, how you doing?
Tina, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, nice, awesome to see your face in this virtual space.
I know, I like it.
Awesome. So if you wanted to just go really quick and introduce yourself, and then we can jump right into some questions.
Okay, absolutely. So my name is Soraya Tillotson, and I am the Graduation Services Coordinator here on the university, and I handle all things graduation, diploma related. By the way, I saw the diploma hanging on their back wall. It makes my heart happy to see that.
I'm representing Soraya.
Yeah. So part of my job is also as part of the commencement planning team.
Okay. Awesome. So thank you for all the work you've done and you do. And so we'll jump right into it. So I've heard people using the words commencement and graduation simultaneously. So is there a difference between the two? And if so, can you explain for us?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So graduation is successfully completing all your requirements for a degree. The degree is awarded and a diploma is mailed. Commencement is the traditional ceremony honoring all students who are up for graduation. When a student applies for graduation the semester that they're finishing, they're telling the university that they're finishing all their degree requirements, that they would like their degree awarded and their diploma mailed. So all the students that have applied for graduation are automatically invited to participate in our upcoming commencement ceremony.
Okay.
However, participating in the ceremony does not guarantee that they have graduated from the university, as many students often apply to participate in commencement, though they're not officially graduating that semester.
Okay, great. No, and that's the great question. I was like, do I know the difference between the two? So, well, apparently I know I got two. Again, trying to get one more. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
I'll be watching for it.
So, Soraya, for you, so the next question: who is eligible to walk and participate? I know you mentioned, how do they apply, and then what guidelines and how does someone become eligible for it?
Ooh, that's
Can you
a good
further
one.
expand on that?
So all students who apply for that, like spring graduation, for example, are automatically eligible to participate in the spring commencement ceremony.
Okay.
Then students who are in good academic standing and they're within 12 credits or less of graduating after this current semester are eligible to participate. This is often the situation with many of our summer grads who finish and then they're gone, and so they don't choose to participate in our spring ceremonies. The other one is also students who have previously graduated and did not get a chance to participate. For example, 2020,
yes,
they are welcome to come back and participate in the ceremony. Especially if we hold it back in person, they're welcome to do that. If they meet either of these two requirements, all we ask is that they submit a form. It's called the Application to Participate in Commencement Outside Your Official Graduation Term. This form can be located on the Admissions and Records Student Forms page. And by submitting this form, it ensures that they are kept informed of all commencement-related material and information. Okay.
Thank you so much for that. And then again, if you're just joining us, we've talked about academic recovery, and now we're in the thick of commencement and just talking about what it is going to be for us this semester. And as Soraya mentioned, Admissions and Records website, just has all that detailed information for you. And then of course you can contact their office if you have any additional questions. So I got some more questions for you. So here we go.
Right. I'm ready.
So commencement will be virtual this year. Can you give us information on how that will look? And a lot of people have questions.
I bet. That's a big one. So commencement will be held on Friday, May 14th, same time that we had originally scheduled. The event will be a pre-recorded event similar to an in-person event. The event will contain remarks from President Sandoval, Provost Thompson, the Faculty Senate Chair, the ASUN and GSA presidents, as well as the Nevada Alumni Council president. The national anthem, which I'm pretty excited about, the national anthem will be sung by one of our own music professors.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Graduates will be recognized individually through the display of a photo, their major, and an audio reading of their name. They will also have the ability to download and share these graduate slides through social media, which is really awesome.
Nice.
The event will go live starting at 10 a.m. on May 14th and can be found on the university's commencement website at unr.edu/commencement. The link will be available for viewing anytime after that in date and time for those graduates, family, friends who are in a different state or country, as those time zones may differ.
Okay. Nice. That is so awesome. Like you said, though it's virtual, there's still this opportunity to still have family engage with it, being able to share on social media. I know Instagram is big, maybe TikTok's a little bigger right now, but just thinking of like it's important. It's an important piece to get it out to not only the masses, but it's just like, this is something that I've done and I'm proud of it and I want to share it with the world. So I think it's awesome that students are going to have that opportunity to do that, and of course the family members that wouldn't have been able to travel if they, if it was here in person and such like that. So awesome. So kind of moving forward, and probably a question that the multiple people may have. Can you tell us what went into the decision to hold the ceremony in person?
Yeah, that we all, it's near and dear to my heart to hold commencement, and I love having it in person. And so that is our goal. We want to see an in-person ceremony, and we look forward to the day when it is safe to do so. We are holding a virtual ceremony in compliance with state and local directives. It is not feasible to hold in-person ceremonies at this time. We are aware that many students and families have been waiting to make travel arrangements and wanted to apprise students as early as possible. And as I mentioned earlier, once it is feasible to hold in-person ceremonies again, these students are welcome to come back and participate. We are proud of our graduates and are working hard to provide the recognition they deserve. And a couple years ago, we had a 90-something-year-old lady who had never got the chance to participate in commencement, and she came back and participated in the ceremony. And it was awesome to see that. That's
awesome. So it's not just like, it's not a, no, you can't walk. It's just not right now. We just need it to be safe. Keeping our campus community safe, keeping Nevada safe. So
absolutely.
I'm hoping
we looked at all different options were looked at.
Yes.
We did pros and cons. We talked with everyone, local government leaders, everything. And this time it's just not feasible. Right.
And I understand. And like you said, just keeping everyone safe. So Sarai, can you share some numbers and facts surrounding graduation to kind of give people an idea of what those percentages look like and such?
Yeah, I'm a numbers person, so I love it. I'm all about
let's go.
I love it. So as of right now, keep in mind these numbers, I pulled them actually today. However, our applications are still open through March 1st. So if you haven't applied for graduation, you have through March 1st to apply, which is 5 days away. This coming Monday. As of right now, we have 2,842 graduates. It includes 64 medical students, 378 graduate students, and over 2,400 undergraduate students receiving their bachelor's degree, which is a huge number, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yes, that is awesome.
So some of our popular majors, for the graduates, it's social work. Most popular major is social work. Nice. And for undergrads, it's community health science, mechanical engineering, and psychology.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, which are great.
That is awesome.
Some of the coolest things is I like the oldest and youngest graduate. It's kind of fun to see how old. This year, our oldest is 75 years old.
Nice.
And the youngest is 18.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Shout out to to both ages, young and wise. At 18, I was like, I'm just trying to get through these assignments. So the fact that this individual is graduating, it's awesome. I love that.
And I'd love to see the older ones come back. I'm like, don't stop your education. Keep going. Keep learning.
I love it. 75, the golden number this semester. I love that.
Yes.
All right. So how does the COVID-19 change to the SU impact of graduation or academic recognition?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think Katie might have mentioned it earlier.
She did, yeah.
If you're graduating, it really doesn't affect your degree requirements. And
Okay.
Well, actually it doesn't, for that matter. The one part it does is academic recognition, and that's
Okay.
what people are receiving: cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, and that's within the top 10% of the graduating classes.
Okay.
And even doing that, because of the COVID-19 SU policy, we have done away with the requirements, the credit unit requirements. So to receive academic recognition, students first had to have 90 credit units graded A through F, and then 60 credit units A through F here at the university in residence. And then they also had to meet the GPA requirement. So with the SU policy, they've gotten rid of the credit units that are required, the 60 and 90, and they only have to meet the GPA cutoff for their college.
The GPA cutoff. Okay,
right.
That is awesome. Like you said, giving individuals that opportunity to still progress, even though they've taken, that utilize the SU policy to help them in their just educational journey. So I think that is just awesome. And then you said the difference, that was the big difference between from previous years, right? Was just that change of the units versus the GPA, correct?
Yes, the GPA has been the same all across. Previous years, when we don't have the COVID policy, it'll go back, but it's not 60 and 90 that are required.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I got a couple more questions for you, but if there are folks that are just joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking about today. Earlier, we had Caitlin from A&R, you talking about, just those resources that we have on campus for you as students in terms of, policies and how we can continue to allow you to progress through. And right now we're with Soraya, who is our graduation coordinator, and we're just talking just all the things in the mix and all the things that are important to know about graduation and commencement this semester. So Soraya, moving forward here, so now that the ceremony is virtual, can students still purchase traditional caps and gowns? So the get up for graduation, as we know, that day morning, you suited and booted, as they call it, just getting all nice. So how does that work for students now?
Yes, they can still do it. So we're working with the Nevada Wolf Shop, and students should be able to purchase them online. If you're not here in campus or on campus or nearby, you can go to the Nevada Wolf Shop website and you'll be able to purchase those. At least by next week. I heard it was coming up soon. I know they maybe had a little bit of times when it's coming, but it should be there by next week. And then on March 15th. Oh my goodness, May and March 15th. So on March 15th is when they can go in person. For those that are on campus, you can go in person and pick up your cap and gown right then and there, starting March 15th, clear up until May 14th.
Okay.
Through the commencement ceremony. Absolutely. Nice. So they have it. We encourage, I mentioned earlier with the grads submitting pictures, we encourage them to wear the cap and gown, to take the pictures with the cap and gown and submit that. Doctoral candidates, for example, we ask them to put on their cap and gown and then take a picture with their advisor. Okay. So that they can submit those to be included for the virtual ceremony. And then the deadline, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the deadline to submit those is April 14th. Okay. And all the information regarding the photos and how to do it will be sent out to graduates in next week, actually, March 1st next week. Awesome. So so which I think is just super awesome, right? We talk about this virtual experience, but there's still the little bit of everything that's still kind of attached to graduation, of wearing your regalia and your gowns and everything, and giving props to your advisor, which my advisor should be putting up with me until it's time for me to graduate. It's one of those things, but it's still the special moment. So like I said, just hoping students are super appreciative of just the little things that are still attached to commencement. So alrighty, so the big question, and this was the question that I had too, once you completed all your classes, you can take naps now more readily because you don't have to stay up and read until 2 a.m. When can students expect their diploma? That is the top question everyone asks. All the graduates, when's it coming? That's a good question. So because of the SU policy, it actually delays us in posting degrees to their transcripts about a week or so. Okay. So I would expect that students will get their degree posted to their transcripts the first week in June. And then about 3 to 4 weeks after that is when we start mailing out diplomas. So I would say about the end of June is when they're going to mail those out. We want to make sure that students' mailing address is updated in My Nevada because that's the address that the diplomas will be mailed to.
Okay.
And then because the ceremony, well, as part of the virtual ceremony, we're also sending a grad pack out to students, which is exciting. It has a gift from the Alumni Association, an alumni letter, a letter from the president. It has hard copies of the commencement program with their name in it. We also have we started a couple years ago, a commencement or alumni pin that says class of 2021. And we're giving students the opportunity to vote for their favorite design. And that's the design of the pin that will be awarded. So students can watch out for that. It'll be coming sometime the end of March, beginning of April. Watch out for that email where you can go and vote for your favorite pin. And that's the alumni pin that we'll use for the class of 2021.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much for that. And that's a really cool way to kind of make your mark on your university history. Like my design got picked for the pin for this commencement. So that is so awesome. So those are all the questions I have for you. Is there any other thing or things you want to say or leave us with before you head out?
I thank you so much for having me. There's so many details involved in commencement and graduation that people don't even realize it.
Right.
If there's any additional questions that people have, just email commencement@unr.edu. We'd be happy to answer those questions that are in there. So send us those questions that you have, any details. As a graduate, know that you'll start receiving emails from me starting next week, the beginning of March. When those emails come out, don't delete them. It's important information.
Yes.
And they relate both to commencement and graduation.
Nice.
So we're excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. And once again, everybody, read your emails. And Soraya, thank you so much for what you do for our institution and our campus community. And we're looking forward to commencement this spring semester. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
All righty, virtual team. So thank you all so much. Thank you to the folks behind the scene for all your help in engaging with those individuals that had questions. Thank you to Caitlin McKinney from Admissions and Records. She's our student specialist, student system specialist, to where we went through and talked about just all those resources and policies and such. So hopefully you got some great tidbits just from that of making sure that you can stay progressing through with your education or career. And then as we just saw with Soraya Tilton, our graduation coordinator, just giving us just the bits and pieces, because there is a lot of work, as we know, that goes on behind the scenes that we don't get to see with graduation. And the fact that we're still able to have one I think is a blessing. So thank you to everyone that was a part of this. And again, I'm Sheena Harvey. I'm the Associate Director for Fitness and Recreational Sports. And thank you to our guest speakers today. And then thank you for the opportunity to host and engage with the campus community. Thank you all. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Go Pack.